Hello everyone. Today we are going to dive into one of the most pressing issues of our time, climate change. It is a topic that affects every one of us, regardless of where we live, our background, or our profession. The changing climate is altering the world as we know it, and if we don't take action now, the consequences could be catastrophic for future generations. Climate change is not a future problem. It is happening right now. From rising sea levels to extreme weather events, we are already seeing its impact. The Earth's average temperature is increasing at an unprecedented rate, largely due to human activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial pollution. These actions release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm. So, what does this mean for our world? First and foremost, we are seeing the consequences in our weather patterns. Extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, floods, wildfires, and droughts, are becoming more frequent and severe. Just in the past few years, we've witnessed devastating hurricanes hitting the coasts of the United States, wildfires raging across Australia and California, and deadly heat waves sweeping across Europe and Asia. These events are not random. They are directly linked to the changes in our climate. Let's talk about the science behind climate change. The greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms the Earth's surface. When the sun's energy reaches the Earth's atmosphere, some of it is reflected back to space and the rest is absorbed by the Earth. This energy is then re-radiated as heat, but greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, trap some of this heat, preventing it from escaping back into space. This process keeps the Earth warm enough to sustain life. However, human activities are intensifying the greenhouse effect. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have been burning vast amounts of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, to power our homes, industries, and transportation. This releases enormous quantities of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, creating an imbalance. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat is trapped and the warmer the Earth becomes. This is what we refer to as global warming. Now, the effects of climate change are not limited to just rising temperatures. One of the most significant impacts is on our oceans. Oceans act as a giant heat sink, absorbing much of the excess heat caused by global warming. But as the oceans warm, we are seeing a series of dangerous consequences. Warmer ocean temperatures are causing coral reefs to bleach and die, disrupting marine ecosystems. Rising sea levels, caused by the melting of polar ice caps and glaciers, are threatening coastal communities around the world. Cities like Miami, New York, and Jakarta are already grappling with the reality of flooding and the need to adapt to a changing coastline. But it's not just coastal cities that are at risk. Inland areas are also feeling the effects of climate change. Changes in precipitation patterns are leading to more intense droughts in some regions, while others are experiencing heavier rainfall and flooding. Agricultural productivity is being affected, with crops failing in areas that were once fertile. This not only threatens food security but also exacerbates poverty and inequality in already vulnerable regions. Let's also address the issue of biodiversity. As habitats are destroyed or altered by climate change, countless species are facing extinction. Animals that rely on specific climate conditions, like polar bears and certain types of amphibians, are struggling to survive as their habitats shrink or disappear. This loss of biodiversity has a cascading effect on ecosystems, threatening the balance that supports life on Earth. So, what can we do about it? The good news is that while climate change is a massive challenge, it is not insurmountable. We have the knowledge and the tools to address it, but we need to act now. One of the most important steps we can take is to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. Transitioning to renewable energy sources, such as wind, solar, and hydropower, is crucial. These clean energy sources do not emit greenhouse gases, and they are becoming more affordable and accessible every year. In addition to transitioning to renewable energy, we must also focus on energy efficiency. By improving the energy efficiency of our buildings, transportation, and industries, we can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Simple changes like using energy-efficient appliances, insulating homes, and promoting public transportation can make a big difference. Another key solution is reforestation and afforestation. Trees act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it. Protecting existing forests and planting new trees can help offset some of the emissions we've already released. However, this is not a substitute for reducing emissions. It's a complementary strategy. The role of governments and international cooperation cannot be overstated in the fight against climate change. Policies that incentivize renewable energy adoption, regulate emissions, and promote sustainable practices are essential. The Paris Agreement, signed by nearly every country in the world, is a landmark example of global cooperation. Its goal is to limit global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, with efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. While progress has been made, much more needs to be done to meet these targets. Corporations also have a major role to play. Many of the largest carbon emitters are industries like energy, transportation, and agriculture. These companies must take responsibility for their environmental impact and invest in sustainable alternatives. Consumers can also push for change by supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability and holding those that don't accountable. But individual actions matter too. While systemic change is essential, we can all make a difference in our daily lives. Reducing our energy consumption, using public transportation, reducing waste, and eating a more plant-based diet are just a few ways we can reduce our carbon footprint. Every small action adds up, and collectively, we can create a significant impact. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a human issue. It affects our health, our livelihoods, our homes, and our future. We cannot afford to ignore it any longer. The longer we wait to take action, the more severe and irreversible the consequences will be. But if we act now, we can mitigate the worst effects of climate change and build a sustainable future for ourselves and for future generations. In conclusion, climate change is the defining issue of our time. The science is clear, the impacts are already being felt, and the solutions are within our reach. It is up to us, individuals, governments, and corporations, to take bold and decisive action. The future of our planet depends on it. Thank you.